nothing changes.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to do a video for a lot of you that asked me on the Facebook group and throughout the community about all of the supplies and equipment, the basics and the must-haves for your business. Whether you're watching this video and you're a reseller, or you're watching this video and you have a food blog, or you're an affiliate sales or a website marketer, or whatever it is that your business does, many of us have transferred over to working at home. Now, I've worked at home for the better part of 10 to 12 years, so I pretty much have this in tow. But how many of you guys watching this video have went from working at an office or out somewhere to now majority of the time doing your work at home? Or maybe you quit your job and started reselling, or being a blogger or an affiliate sales or a YouTuber even. These are all the things that I think are required for you to have, and that you definitely need to make sure that are ready to go when you decide to start working for yourself, especially if you work from home. So a lot of talk has been happening this year and last year. If you don't know, a lot of the tablets that have come out, especially things like the new iPad Pro and things like the new Samsung has some new tablets. A lot of people working on tablets as their primary workstation, which is great. I love working on a tablet. I think it's fantastic. You get to swipe up, you can have a keyboard that you can buy, you can use a Bluetooth mouse. They're fantastic. But either way, I still believe, whether you're a Windows or a Mac person, that number one on this list has to be a computer. It's great to work on mobile, and it's fantastic to have that travelability, that mobility of a mobile tablet. And a lot of you try to work off of your phone. I think you have to have a computer. There's a lot of things that you can't do on a tablet or a phone, or a lot of things that you can't do productively, quickly, or as efficiently as you can on a 13 or 15 inch computer, 17 inch, whatever you choose to use. Now, there's a lot of discussion. Everybody goes back and forth over Apple using a Mac versus using a Windows computer. And I'll tell you, 10 years ago, I was definitely Windows only. I didn't even know what a Mac was 10 years ago. I got my first MacBook. This is like my third. So the first one I got was just a junky one, but it was still great, and it lasted a couple years. And then I had my second one, which lasted me about 5 to 6 years. So those two together, even with the junky one, lasted me like 7, 8 years. And now I've had this one for 2 years. This is a late 2017, early 2018 model. So I've had it like 2.5 years, and it's a workhorse. It's fantastic. It does everything I have to do and need to do. If you're a Windows person, great, do your Windows thing. I highly recommend Macs. They're just great for multitasking. They're less likely to get viruses. People argue these points. I'm sure the comments will show you that. But you definitely need a computer. And the reason I think that is because a lot of websites are easier to navigate. We know the difference between mobile websites and desktop websites, and we're always requesting the desktop website on our iPads. It's just easier to roll through. Also on my computer, when I'm using my laptop, when I'm sitting here, doing things like PayPal and invoicing and transactions and QuickBooks and spreadsheets, it's something you really don't want to mess up. And I feel like I have more of a proclivity to mess it up on the mobile, like where I'm trying to touch exactly. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm more accurate on the computer, on my Mac, or any computer for that matter, than I am on a mobile device. So I love my mobile devices. I wish I didn't need a computer, but there's a lot of stuff you can do. Also, wireless printing. Very possible, tons of wireless printers. Those of us that use thermal printers, most of them are not wireless. They have to be plugged in. Now there are adapters. I have an adapter for my iPad that will let me do it. But if you want to use wireless, straight printing from the mobile or even from your computer, those things tend to run a little more expensive. Most of you know the Brother Thermal is a pretty expensive thermal printer. So number one is a computer. I think it's absolutely a necessity to have a good working computer that you can work on. You don't have to spend $2,000 on a Mac. You can get used ones for $1,000 or less. You can get used Windows computers for $400 and $500, whatever you feel comfortable on, but just please have at least a basic working computer, be it a desktop or a laptop. I do prefer a laptop because you can take it on the go with you. You can take it to bed if you work, whatever. I definitely prefer a laptop over a desktop. I own desktops, I don't ever use them. Okay, so number two is we're gonna go right into having a mobile phone, a good smartphone, or a good tablet, or both. So I use Apple products, like I said. This is an iPad, a 2018 iPad Pro, 12.9 inch. I got these when they came out. There's a new one that just came out. No need for me to upgrade. Again, it's a slight upgrade. It's not worth spending more money to get the 2020 edition. I have an Apple iPhone 11 Pro Max, I think they're called. This is a 256 gig. I get the big gig, so I never have to worry about photos or videos or anything. I just go with it and delete stuff as I go. A smartphone is so important. As a reseller, we all know that you have to be able to look things up. You want to have the newest available apps. You want to be able to download and upload those apps. There are people that message me and email me working off of iPhone 4s and 5s. They're just not productive and they're really slow. They don't allow for the newest apps. Whether you use an Apple product or an Android, you need to have at least something that's within a couple years old. I would say phones are good to keep 2 years. 3 years is okay. Once you start having a phone that is 4 or 5 years old, I'd say it's time to upgrade. There's no excuse to it. It's a business write-off. You can definitely claim the phone and the bill, or at least parts of it. You get options to finance and lease phones. You can, people are like, oh, if I can't own it outright. But you know what, as a business, for 30 bucks a month or 35 bucks a month to own this phone, I never pay cash. There's no interest. Why would I? I'm just gonna give them 35 bucks a month on my bill. If your business isn't working enough to produce $35 to pay for you to have this newest phone, well, you're probably doing something wrong. So definitely invest in the newest, greatest phone, or at least have one when you upgrade for a couple of years. I typically do not upgrade every year, so I keep my phones 2 years. 11 Pro Max came out in what, September, guys? September of 19? So it's almost September of 20. I'm not gonna upgrade this year. There's no reason to upgrade this year. I've had the phone for 10 months, 9 months. I'll keep it till next year, and we'll see when an iPhone 13 or whatever it is comes out. I keep my phones 2 years. I kept one of them for 3 years. I think I had the 7 until the X came out. So just a heads up on that. So definitely wanna get a phone. Tablet, there's no need for a tablet. What's great about a tablet is if you are doing something that's mobile ready, but your phone might be a little bit small, this gives you a great option. Again, you can buy a Bluetooth keyboard, super cheap. Tablets, phones, mobile, great things to have, number 2. So since we just talked about it, number 3, and I'll put it up here in one of the corners somewhere, is definitely a printer. For any computer, or for any business, you need a printer that you can print out labels, possibly invoices, possibly receipts. You may need to print out instructions. You need to print out packing slips. You may need to print out important documents for like e-signatures, or maybe you're a real estate agent that needs to print out stuff. You gotta print out stuff. Those of us that are resellers print out shipping labels every day. Thermal printers, the 4x6 peel and stick stickies, fantastic. You can get them for anywhere from $100 to $200. If you get lucky, you can find some used ones cheap. Definitely need thermal printers. I'll link the one that I use below, along with some of the other equipment you'll see in this video. So if you need any of these things, you can certainly go down there and click and check out the ones that I use. If you don't like the ones that I use and you find another one, that's okay too. Just use the links and it will definitely give me credit. And I appreciate all the support to the channel. So number 3, a printer, whether it's thermal or whether it's regular. You know your business. If you're a reseller or a mortgage lender or a car salesman, you know which one works for you. If you're printing and shipping, definitely get those thermals. If not, the other one might work for you better. Okay, number 4, since we just mentioned it in my mobile productivity line, is an accounting and spreadsheet program. So I want to take you guys over and I want to show you just really quick. In fact, without taking you over, I can show you here on my tablet. Let me get rid of the keyboard here really quick. So I use Intuit QuickBooks and I use QuickBooks Online. And so they have a really great app, and it doesn't matter if you use an app or you use a mobile website, or you use the actual desktop, or you use GoDaddy, or you use QuickBooks. It doesn't matter which one you use. As long as you have some sort of accounting and spreadsheets. You could use Google Sheets, you can use whatever it is. So here is QuickBooks Online. It gives me a great app. This is something, fantastic for mobile to look at, to check through. When you're inputting stuff, that's kind of why I recommend a computer. And so this gives you a really great drop down to do like invoicing and receipts and all this stuff. just something to track. You have to track your numbers or you're never going to be successful in business. Those of you that have ever watched Shark Tank know that they tell you if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And it's true. You got to know what you're spending, whether, first of all, are you making money? Are you spending too much on expenses? Is your shipping costing too much? Is your fees costing too much? Is your printing out documents per page and your paper and your ink and your toner costing too much? What are you spending your money on and where? So definitely want to have that as number 4, a spreadsheet, at least a basic spreadsheet, or a QuickBooks or GoDaddy accounting program that you can do on your mobile or your computer. Recommend inputting stuff on your computer and then using your mobile to do kind of work on it. Okay, number 5 is something that's gonna surprise people. And I'm gonna show you guys over here on a screen share. I will take you over my computer for this. And it's MailChimp.com or another comparable email service. Why is an email service so important? In fact, I can actually just put it up here. You guys will be able to see it. I'd rather not cut away. Less edits. YouTube 101, less edits. Email services are super important because of this. 1, you can save your repeat customers. Customers that want to shop with you over and over again. Customers that maybe buy something and ask you if you get this material regularly, or hey, let me know if you ever get this material regularly. You can save them in an email program. Always ask and get permission or have them sign up somewhere so that they're giving their permission. But you definitely want to have somewhere to keep folks' emails. And this is the best way to get in touch with them, especially if they've already been a customer or they want to be a customer. You can send out once a week or once a month or twice a week or whatever it is, once a day emails to let them know like we're having a sale, we're having a special. And a lot of people don't check their emails. It's true. A lot of people don't do business through emails, but a lot of people do. And MailChimp is free up to 2,000 contacts. 2,000 is a lot of contacts, right? I've been saving contacts for years. Now I have tens of thousands of contacts, but 2,000 will take you a solid amount of time to save. Somebody at my door. Okay, so that is really important that you keep their behind the scenes YouTube. People come to your door. So that is really important that you keep your contacts and your information, your customers saved somewhere. And you don't want to just keep them in a spreadsheet because it's not easy. MailChimp allows you to just shoot out an email to everyone. It's fantastic. A lot of you are on my email list. If you're not, it's linked below. You can definitely get on it. And you see that I send out emails for specials and some of you use it, some of you don't. But for me, I'm up to where it costs money to have this many, but it's well worth the money. But the first 2,000 through MailChimp are free. There are other services like Constant Contact and Drip and Aweber. I've used Aweber, it's fine. I just like MailChimp better. The other ones I'm not familiar with, but I know a lot of people love Constant Contact. It's more expensive though. Okay, number 6 is an Instagram business page. Boom, I'll show it up here in one of these as well. So Instagram, probably the #1 social media site in the world. Facebook, obviously the biggest, but I think Instagram is probably the best and the most used. And so it's super important that we have a business page on Instagram. And I'll tell you why it's so important. Even if you're old school and don't like them, let me show you. I'm just loading mine up here, okay? So this is my Instagram business page. A lot of you are familiar with it. You follow me. If you don't, it's just at Rockstarflipper, all one word. It's very, very easy. People go to Instagram to look at what you have going on. They check for you on Instagram. If they can easily find you on Instagram, it makes you more, they take you more seriously. Like, oh, here he is. I can scroll through. And so anyone can scroll through my Instagram and they can see things like, I ran a sale. Like the other night, I'm working on my laptop and my iPad, so I'm updating them. I did a haul. I put out something for the holidays, for Father's Day. I put out some motivational posts once in a while. I put out, updates to news stories and eBay. And one time we're out at dinner, so I just put up something randomly for that. I try not to mix too much personal with the business page, but I am my business, so it's kind of in the same, but there you go. That's just a way that people can find you. It's a way they can contact you very easily. They can send you a direct message. It's a way that they have to see what you have going on. And so that is really important. If you're not on Instagram, I feel like you have to have an Instagram page. The same goes for a Facebook business page. Now, people don't interact, and this is gonna be number 7, Facebook business page. They don't interact with a Facebook business page like they do an Instagram page. But let me tell you the importance of a Facebook business page. People go to Google, Facebook business pages, along with Instagram and Twitter, come up really high in the search. People kind of expect that you have a Facebook page or a page they can go read about you on. Instagram's a great way to interact and see what you have going on and feeds. Facebook is more of that professional, I know it's Facebook, but professional business page where they can go and see when you're open, if you have a shop, if you don't, if a way to contact you or an email or a link to a website. They can see your reviews where people can review you. They can see how many people like you or follow you. Really important to have that Facebook page, because if people search for you and you don't have one, they start asking questions, right? If I go onto Google and I'm looking up a new bar or a new restaurant and they don't have a Facebook page, I'm like, that's kind of weird, right? Like I want to kind of see what you have going on. And so I'll look them up on Instagram. If they don't have anything, well, now they're in huge trouble. I may not even visit them because there's no way to look at them and see what they're all about. So number 7. Number 8 is the old school way, and that's websites. So a lot of people don't go the website route anymore. In fact, I'm guilty of it. I look at people's social media over their websites. However, if somebody has a website that I can go to, I will look at it if I see it linked somewhere. I'm not going to be the first thing. If I Google them and their website comes up, I'll certainly click it. But having a website is just another layer of professionalism for everyone to see. So if you have a website and it links out to a Facebook and an Instagram and a Twitter, and you have Instagram and Twitter and Facebook linking into the website, I kind of think of this as a pizza pie, and every one of them is a slice, and it tells a story. And so as a business owner, whether you're a reseller, even just an eBay seller, or whether you're a car salesman or a mortgage lender, you need to have all of these things working together, because some people may look for websites and never look at social media, and some people only look at social media and not at websites. So if you have one and not the others, you really could get in trouble and miss out on customers. You want to have as much as possible. Even if you don't put a ton of time into a website, just update it once a week, or once, every other week, or once every day, or whatever it is. Keep it active, keep a blog going, link your Instagram to it. So whenever you post to Instagram, it automatically posts to your website so people see that you're active. One of the worst things for business is looking at a business and seeing they've had no activity anywhere for like 3 years. Bad idea. Okay. Number 9 is a reseller specific, and it's all of your shipping supplies. You absolutely need a shipping scale. A lot of businesses, if you ship out anything, reseller or otherwise, you should have a scale. This scale is like $16, $18. It's linked below. You need tape guns, you need boxes, you need envelopes, you need packing materials, bubble wrap. Packing material for most businesses is a must have. You have to have your supplies, and don't let them run out. That goes for ink, for toner, for white paper, for sticky paper, for thumbtacks, for paper clips, for ink, for pens, whatever it is you stock in your office or your business or at home. Don't let your supplies run out. Worst thing that can happen, you have to run out to Office Depot or Walmart for an hour, and it drives you nuts. Okay, let's talk about number 10, because this has become more important than anything else in the world today in 2020 and going forward, is a dedicated spot to get your work done. And so I'm kind of running into that problem now myself. Having a clean, organized, dedicated spot is so important to productivity, focusing. You guys notice that this area is where I do my recording, and this is a dining room. It's a dining room that we don't use. We don't sit at our formal dining room. So I sit at this, it's a high top bar table type dining room table that I sit at and record at, and I was able to kind of make it my own. But I wanted a dedicated den and office, and I've lived in this house for about 7 years, so I didn't have one, because when we bought this house, we just bought what we needed, and I wasn't doing YouTube 7 years ago, and I didn't really have all this stuff going on. So I didn't need it at the time, and now I need it. And so we've been looking at new houses and found, some with dedicated dens and office where I can set up, that desk and that dedicated spot. I can actually put sound dampening, the soundproofing squares around the room. I can set up my, my 100,000 subscriber plaque and my signs, and I can set up my microphone on one of those swing arms. I'm gonna get it all set up perfectly. A dedicated spot is so important. My nice office chair, because I sit on a bar stool right now. It's fine for what I'm doing, but just wanna upgrade and get stuff going. You need a spot that you can be by yourself and work without being distracted if you're able to work at home. I have 2 little dogs. They run back and forth. You guys would hear them, tick, 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 tick on the wood floors, or, Kate's got stuff to do. She's cooking or running the dryer or whatever. You got to have your own spot. So I'm really working on that right now. It's so important to me. And hopefully I'm going to get that done here at the end of the year or the beginning of next year. So a dedicated spot, especially if you work from home. If you work at an office, then that kind of is your spot. Otherwise, you got to kind of siphon off a spare room or an office. I know people that work out of their walk-in closets. I kid you not, they're walk-in closets. Look it up. Go to YouTube, go to Google, and go walk-in closet office. You'll see what I mean. It's incredible. It's crazy. I know a guy that has the walk-in closet's like empty. He has a desk pushed in there. He has an entire video game set up there, his microphone. He has some soundproofing squares. He has some LED colored lighting. It's amazing. Look it up. You'll thank me later. Anyway, so that's number 10, a dedicated spot. Okay, I think we covered it all. Links are down below to everything that I use, everything from phones and tablets to scales to this microphone here to the pop filter to the soundproofing I actually have behind it right now. Some good MacBooks if you need to look at some and get some specs. I'll spec mine out and link it. Everything will be down there, so I appreciate you guys watching. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, use the comment section below. If you think I missed something that I should have included in the list, put it down below as well. And let me know whether you are, a Mac or Windows person or a tablet, or what your setup looks like, or how your setup looks, or what you use. Just put it all down in the comment section. I love reading through how you guys do it, and I appreciate it. I look forward to that, and I will see you guys next time. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos, and I'll see you again a little bit later tonight.